ॐ वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सरस्वती वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषये भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तः शान्तः शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ। You all can repeat after me. वासुदेवेन्द्रयोगीन्द्रम् नत्वा ज्ञानप्रदं गुरुम् मुमुक्षूणां हितार्थाय तत्त्वबोधो विधीयते साधनचतुष्टयसम्पन्नाधिकारिणां मोक्षसाधनभूतं तत्त्वविवेकप्रकारम् वक्ष्यामः। साधनचतुष्टयं किम्? नित्यानित्यवस्तुविवेकः। इहामुत्रार्थफलभोगविरागः। शमादिषट्कसम्पत्तिः। मुमुक्षुत्वं चेति नित्यानित्यवस्तुविवेकः। नित्यवस्तु एकं ब्रह्म। तद्व्यतिरिक्तम् अन्यत् सर्वम् अनित्यम्। अयम् एव नित्यानित्यवस्तुविवेकः। Okay, you can mute your mic now. In the last class, we have discussed in detail the meaning of nitya vivekaha. Vivekaha is gained by assimilating the various experiences which we undergo as a human being, starting from this world and extending to the world which we reach after death. Whether it is here in this world or there in the other world, all experiences are going to be limited. All experiences are going to be finite. They are going to be impermanent. But the author says that there is something which is permanent. What is that? Nityavastu ekam Brahma. There is only one permanent thing and there are many impermanent things. That which are permanent, that which are impermanent will be finite. Will be finite and limited. It has limitations. Limitations in terms of desha, kala and vastu. That is in terms of place, time and objects. That which is permanent cannot be finite. And therefore it is infinite and unlimited. If there are many impermanent things and that there is only one permanent thing, will not the impermanent things limit the permanent thing? Will not the permanent thing become finite? Yes, if it is so, it will become. Because when there are two different things, one is permanent and the other is impermanent, therefore one can limit the other. Limitation comes. Then we cannot say that the permanent thing is infinite. It becomes finite, it becomes limited. Because there exists something other than that. Too many impermanent things are there. If the permanent thing is infinite, then it cannot have anything other than that. Otherwise, infinite has no meaning. It becomes meaningless. Therefore, now we can derive the corollary: without Brahma, there cannot be anything. What is there is only Brahma. All the impermanent things, anitya vastu, they have their existence only in that one permanent thing, which is Brahma, which is nitya vastu ekam Brahma. When I say Brahma, it includes you also. In fact, it is you. It cannot be other than you. That is a teaching which is going to be developed systematically. Brahman, when you say Brahman, Brahman means the big thing, superlatively big. Infinitely it is big, infinite, limitless, which means freedom from being finite or limitations. Brahma is free from threefold limitations. Please understand, it is Brahma, not Brahma. Brahma. Brahma is Brahman you can say, or Brahma you can say. Brahma. Brahman, Brahman in English. Nakarantaha napumsakalingaha Brahman shabdaha. Brahma, Brahmani, Brahmani. That is how Brahman is declined. If it is Brahma, you say, the Brahma is creator God. Brahma, Chaturmukha Brahma, the four-faced Brahma. That is, declension is Brahma, Brahmano, Brahmanaha, that is different. Here we are talking about Brahma. So it's not Brahma. Okay. So even in Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, that's the sloka. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma. Guru Sakshat Param Brahma. It is not Brahma. We are talking about Brahma. But Nitya Vastu, Ekam Brahma. Okay, now this threefold limitations, Desha, Kala, Vastu, the threefold limitations, it characterized everything, every object in the world. Space-wise limitation, time-wise limitation, and object-wise limitation. Even if we take our own body, at any given point of time, we can be at only one place. If I am located at a place, let us say at place A now, then I cannot be at place B or anywhere else. We cannot be here and elsewhere simultaneously. It is not possible. This is spatial limitation, space-wise limitation. Similarly, there is time-wise limitation. We are existent only during a particular period of time. Each one of us has a date of birth, and also we will have a date of departure. It is there. We did not exist before we were born, and after our date of death, we do not exist. We will not exist. So this is called time-wise. That is another limitation, object-wise limitation. There are so many objects in the world. So one object is limited by the presence of another object. I am there. My boss also is there. So I am limited. My boss. So this is the object-wise limitation. When we say Brahman is limitless, it means it doesn't have spatial limitation. It is Brahman is here, Brahman is there and everywhere at the same time. It is all pervading. That is why in our religion, Hindu religion, we say that God is Ishvara. Ishvara is all pervading. We use the word Ishvara for God. So whenever I use the word Ishvara, you understand it is God. So later we will be using the word Ishvara for Brahman also. So Ishvara is all pervading. Ishvara is found everywhere. Ishvara is in every pillar, every particle. Ishvara is there. This is what, in fact, we express in the Namavali when we do the puja. Om Sarva Vyaptine Namaha. Om Anantaya Namaha. Namaha. Namaha is my salutations. My salutations to Sarva. Sarva means all. All Vyapine is pervading. So to all pervasive Ishvara, to Brahman, I offer my namaskara. And similarly, Anantaya Namaha. Anantaha. Antaha na vidyate. Yasya. The one who doesn't have end. Endless, limitless, boundless. Ananta. Because it is all pervading. So Anantaya Namaha. In fact, we all chant this when we do puja without knowing the meaning. But it is Brahma Tattvam is here. If we are questioned whether God is present in the heaven or in the temple or in our hearts, then our answer should be God is present in the heaven, He is in the temple, and He is also in our heart. Because He is Sarvavyapi, all pervading. And when they say Brahma doesn't have time-wise limitation. It means it was there in the past, it is there at present, and what about in the future? It will be in the future also. It means that Brahman's existence is Nityam. It is not subject to time. There is no time in it. In fact, time is because of Brahman. Time is also a product of Brahman. Even during Pralayam, the resolution of the whole world, even when the whole universe resolves, Brahman will continue to exist. So, Brahman means that which is not subject to time, and it is all pervading. The author says, it is the only permanent thing. Nityavastu ekam Brahma. It is everywhere. So, only we have to discern what it is. We have to discover that Brahman. In the context of our religious scriptures, Brahman is popularly known as Ishvara, God. That is God, Ishvara. But in the Upanishads, the name Brahman is used. In the Upanishads, they use the word Brahman. So, when you say Brahman is permanent, it means what? Brahman is permanent, God alone is permanent. Ishvara alone is permanent. Brahman alone is permanent. According to our scriptures, a real thing alone can give us real happiness, permanent happiness, nothing else. And what is the real thing? Ishvara, Bhagavan, Brahman. Brahman alone is the only source of happiness, nothing else. If you take anything in the world, anything, whether it is an object or a person or any situation, if you take, it will have these three defects: anityatvam, dukkha mishrutatvam, and atruptikaratvam. These three defects will be there. It will be a mixture of these three defects. Anityatvam means impermanence. Dukkha mishrutatvam, it is anything you gain, it is mixed with sorrow. Dukkha will be there. There is nothing which is only pure sukha. Nothing like that in the world. Atruptikaratvam means there is no satisfaction, dissatisfaction. Nothing in the world which can give you a everlasting, permanent satisfaction. There is nothing in that. Nothing like that in the world. Therefore, this whatever you gain in the world, they are all anitya vastu and they cannot give happiness. That which is permanent alone can give you anandam, happiness. And therefore, what is permanent? What is nityam? Brahman. Therefore, Brahman alone can be the real source of happiness. Brahman alone can be the real source of security. Because any impermanent thing cannot give us security. An impermanent thing itself is insecure. So how can one insecure thing give security to another insecure thing? It is not possible. Security and happiness, or in other words, artha and kama, it can come only from a permanent source, and that is Brahman alone. This knowledge is called vivekaha. This knowledge is vivekaha. What I seek is unlimited permanent vastu. What I seek is unlimited permanent vastu, which is none other than myself. Because when I say Brahman, Brahman is everything, includes me also. Therefore, now we can see that what I seek is unlimited, the permanent vastu, it cannot be other than myself. If it is so, then where will I get permanent vastu? If I can use a word, get it. Getting it means seeking it. So where will I get it? A samsari is one who continues to seek. He continues to become something. There is no end to his seeking process. What you seek is not available in the domain of seeking. That understanding, which comes out of your various experiences in life, is called viveka. In Tattvabodha, the author will not tell the means to gain any qualification. The author will only mention the qualifications, sadhanani. In the last class, I told by mistake that the author will tell how to acquire the qualifications. But this text is not meant for that. This text is Tattvabodha is studied after one becomes an adhikari. So, in the entire text of Tattvabodha, the author he will not give the means to get this qualification. If you want to study Vedanta, Upanishad, you should have these qualifications. If you don't have them, where should you go? How do you get that? What should you do? In Vedanta, including Tattvabodha, you will not find the answer. You don't get the answer. You have to supply the answer. You have to give the answer. That is, the first portion of the Veda. The first portion of the Veda is Veda Purva or Karmakanda. Karmakanda portion of the Veda. It is that portion of the Veda deals with this subject matter. The self-knowledge, Atma-jnanam, is dealt with in the final portion of the Veda, otherwise called Vedanta. In the Vedic tradition, the question of acquiring the qualifications doesn't arise at all. A person studies the first part of the Veda called Karmakanda. If he studies for 12 years continuously and learn mantras as well as the method to perform nitya karma, daily duties, and naimittika karma, obligatory duties. After study, within a prescribed short duration, he has to immediately get married and or take to a naistika brahmacharya ashram. Because nobody can live unconnected to any ashrama. After marriage, entering Grihastha ashrama, now the person he lives in keeping with the Vedic injunctions. And over a period of time, in the course of his life, naturally he gains adhikaritvam and is ready for Vedanta, the latter part of the Veda called Jnanakanda. The first portion of the Veda prepares a person for Atmajnanam, and the final portion of the Veda, which is Vedantaha, Vedasya Antaha, it teaches Atmajnanam. Veda Purva Bhaga, it deals with this topic. That is, how a person should get this qualification, Sadhana Chatushtayam. How he should become an adhikari for this Atmajnanam. That is dealt by the Veda Bhaga. The first portion of the Veda, it makes a person fit for Atmajnanam, and the final portion of the Veda gives Atmajnanam. In two stages, the Veda gives freedom to the people. But Tattvabodha, being the essence of the last portion of the Veda, Vedanta, it will not deal with this topic. Vedanta or Upanishad, it takes for granted that all the people, whoever approaches Upanishad, is considered to be adhikaris. So what about people like us who directly come to Vedanta without going through the first part of Veda, Veda Purva? Here comes a Shastram called the Bhagavad-Gita. This is the glory of Bhagavad-Gita. Bhagavad-Gita, it addresses the topic of adhikaritvam as well as jnana. Only in Bhagavad-Gita there is that glory. In Gita, both the Upanishadic portion is discussed as well as the Purva Bhaga of the Veda as to how to get the qualification. That is also discussed. So, therefore, we have to take the idea from the Gita and supply here. For this, Purva Bhaga is prescribing the sadhana or the spiritual pursuit known as Karma Yoga, which is the means, which is the method of acquiring this qualification, Viveka. How to get Viveka? The method to gain Viveka is through Karma Yoga. How Karma Yoga will help in getting Viveka? That we will see. Now, this Viveka Shakti is the power to discriminate. It is natural to human beings. They need not borrow from anyone. But what the Shastra says is, this Viveka Shakti, it will become active, it will become functional only when the mind is quiet. One will be able to use this Viveka Shakti only when the mind is quiet and balanced. In a disturbed mind, in a turbulent mind, this Viveka Shakti becomes blunt, stifled. And Karma Yoga is the method by which one can gain a calm, balanced, poised mind, even while active in the world. A calm mind is an alert mind. That alert mind will be able to make fine distinctions between things. That alert mind only will be able to discriminate. Now, how to get this balance of mind? One can gain a calm, balanced mind by living a life of Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga is an attitude towards karma and karma phala. Karma, action. Karma phala, the result of action. In the second and the third chapter of Gita, it is elaborately discussed by Krishna. And Krishna talks about in the second chapter, and the topic continues in the third chapter also, when Arjuna asked a question. So, briefly, it means, Karma Yoga means doing actions with a sense of duty, doing actions with an attitude that what is to be done should be looked upon as the command of Ishvara, should be looked upon as the command of Ishvara in the form of Vidhi Nisheda. Vidhi is what is to be done, Nisheda is what is not to be done, should not be done. Vidhi Nisheda. Gita says, Yogaha Karmasu Kaushalam. Yogaha Karmasu Kaushalam. When the karma palam, the result of action comes, I take it as the Ishvara Prasada. Whether the karma palam is pleasant or unpleasant, for the action what I did and what it came back to me as a result of action, I accept with humility as the Ishvara Prasada. Your attitude matters, how you look upon the karma pala. Ishvara Prasada. Prasada, when you say that itself, and even when you take any prasada, naturally you have some reverence to it. So that this Ishvara Prasada. The result of action is also prasada, which comes to you. So you look upon it as the prasada of Ishvara. There is another definition for Karma Yoga. Samatvam Yogaha Uchyate. Samatvam Yoga Uchyate. So, naturally, in course of time, when you follow Karma Yoga, what happens is, you gain a calm mind, which is not tormented by your Raga and Dvesha, likes and dislikes. You always go by what is right and wrong, not by what I like or dislike. Your Raga Dvesha will not have any power over you. You do what is to be done, and you refrain from doing what is not to be done. You are in order with the Ishvara, that is Karma Yoga. You don't violate the order of Ishvara. So Samatvam Yoga Uchyate, Yogaha Karmasu Kaushalam. All these are it's a huge topic which is elaborately discussed in Gita. So what happens when the mind is calm and balanced? When the mind is calm, I cannot go through the experiences mechanically. When I go through every experience, I will analyze, understand, assimilate them. What is this analysis? Let us say, I have earned a lot of money. I have earned a wonderful position in my life, in my office. I got a lot of people around. Does it mean that my search for long-lasting happiness accomplished? Does it mean that my pursuits come to an end? No. A karma yogi alone will be able to question like this, because his mind is free from raga and dvesha. A person who lives blindly follows what others do, leading a mechanical, a programmed life, he will not question. My father did this way, I also do. My friends did this way, so I also do. I just follow blindly what others did. They got degree, they got job, they got married, they got children, the children got married, finally they retired. I also do the same thing. I don't question my action. There is a beautiful shloka is there. Gatanu gatiko lokaha na lokah paramartikaha guttam saikatalingena nashtam me tamra bhajanam. This is a beautiful shloka, but there is a story behind this shloka. I tell you the story, it's interesting. A person, he went to Rameshwaram. He went to Rameshwaram to have this Setu Snanam, to take bath in the Setu, the ocean. Setu Snanam. That person had a copper vessel, Kamandalu. So it was a vast sand beach. This person wanted to keep the Kamandalu safely in a place, because he cannot hold it when he takes a bath. So he has to close the ears and the nose when he takes a dip. So he has to use both his hands. So he cannot hold the Kamandalu. So he decided to bury the Kamandalu in sand, and he made a heap of sand over that in the form of a lingam, Shiva lingam, so that he can identify the place where he kept the Kamandalu. when he comes back, so he can identify it. So he made a heap of sand in the form of a Shivalingam, and he entered the sea. There were many pilgrims who came there to take bath. They all saw what this person was doing, and they thought this is a tradition, and everyone they thought this is a tradition everyone should follow, and all of them started making sand lingam on the shore and entered the waters. When this person, after bath, when he came, he saw Shivalingam all over. Now, how to know where is Shivalingam, where his Kamandala is? He lost his copper vessel. On the shore, when he came back, he found there was number of Shivalingam. So he lost his copper vessel. Because of what? Because nobody thinks before doing. Everybody follows the other person blindly. No independent thinking. No analysis of experiences. This is what a common man does. But a Karma Yogi, he examines experiences. He does a deep analysis, in-depth analysis of his experiences. Parikshalokan karmachitan brahmanaha nirvedamayat astya kritakritena. It is a Upanishadic mantra which talks about this pariksha, examining the experiences. We would have studied in Mundaka Upanishad this mantra. So always we should ask, what do I seek and do I get that? If I ask such a question, then I am bound to come to the conclusion that everything I come across in life and get in life is only temporary in nature and doesn't give total fulfillment. It doesn't take years to come to this conclusion. A repeated few experiences are enough. I'm trying to lean on money, status, power, position, people, and so many things in life. And each one of them is anityam, ashashvatam. It is going to cause sorrow, either now or later. Got them, and what is acquired in time will also go in time. Whatever is born in time will have to go in time. So when I analyze, I become wiser and wiser and become mature. And in one sweep, we can say everything in the world is anityam. There may be gradations in anityam. For example, an insect can live for 2 days. Compared to an insect, my life is longer. But still, it's anityam. I may get a lot of money. Compared to 1,000 rupees, 1,000,000 rupees may be a huge money, but still anityam. So I come to know that even though there are gradations in the world, but still everything is anityam. A Karma Yogi is able to infer that. He is able to infer that everything in the world is anityam. If everything in this world is anityam, he can extend this conclusion further. What? If by my good action, if at all I am going to acquire some other higher world like Swargadi Lokaha, it may be there or may not be there. That is a different thing. If it is there, which I can acquire through my noble actions, that world also has to be anityam. Why? Because it is gained in time. You need not go to heaven to infer this. Sitting here, you can infer. To know that heaven is anityam. It is inference. You gain data from one experience, and from those data you are able to arrive at a conclusion. So, if we know all the worldly materials are anityam, we can extend and come to know that heavenly experiences are also anityam. That heavenly experiences, what you gain through punya karma, that is also anityam. If you are living for 100 years in the world, maybe in Swargaloka you may live for 10,000 years. Only that much. But the fact is, it is anityam. Shastra also says that tad yatha iga karmachito lokaha kshiyate tat tatha amutra punyachito lokaha kshiyate. So when you go to Swaraloka, as long as you got punya, you can enjoy. But every day you enjoy right? In Swargaloka, from your account that punya will be diminishing. So all this knowledge, simple knowledge, it is possible only when you use your buddhi. But the problem is now we don't use our buddhi because we have no time. We get up early in the morning, do our routines, rush to the office, come back, and most of the actions are mechanical. The problem is not that we don't have wisdom or maturity, but we don't have scope for bringing out because our life has become more like a machine. So the Karma Yoga is a method. Karma Yoga is a method to get the maturity that all that here is anitya. Why should we know that the world is anityam? Let it be whatever I get and some anitya joy out of it always. No. This analysis is necessary because the joy derived from anitya things will also be anitya. And the time comes when I lose my so-called joy, which is going to be more painful. So, anitya things give joy in the beginning and sorrow later. It will end later. It is going to end, giving rise to intense pain. And we see this every day. So, a karma yoga, it gives this nitya, anitya vastu vivekaha. By karma yoga, you gain the understanding that what you gain in the world by your pursuit is satishayam. Satishayam. Satishayam means that you are subject to improvement. Always there is a scope for improvement, whatever you gain in the world. And also sapeksham. Sapeksham, it means things are relative in nature. Joy and sorrow, gain and loss, labha, labha, jaya, jayo, always they are two sides of the same coin. You gain something, it means you have lost something. Losing one thing, you gain something. From one angle it is good, from another angle it is not good. It is not desirable. There is nothing called the object of absolute good thing. There's nothing in the world. So these are the doshas of the objects which in the gain in the world through our actions. Therefore, by any amount of karma, you cannot get the peace, you cannot get the happiness, the freedom which you want. So what gives freedom? Moksha. Only self-knowledge, atma-jnanam, brahma-jnanam. Jnanat evatu kaivalyam. Moksha prapti is only through atma-jnanam. Without atma-jnanam, there is no moksha. That is a beautiful shloka which says, Yada charmavat akasham veshta ishyanti manavaha tada devam avijnaya dukkasyanto bhavishyanti. This shloka tells that without self-knowledge, one can get moksha. How? Only if it fulfills one condition. What is the condition? You roll the sky from one end to the other like a mattress. If you can roll it, then you can get moksha without self-knowledge. So what does it mean? It means it is not possible. So, to arrive at moksha and to know that moksha is possible only through jnanam, we have to do a lot of vivek, starting from differentiating and analyzing the nitya vastu, anitya vastu. So this is about the viveka. Up to now, we have discussed elaborately on viveka. And we will discuss it on viveka further whenever the opportunity arises. We will take up the topic and discuss. Now we will can take up the next qualification, viraga. So you can chant with me. You can repeat after me. Viraga. Viraga kaha.
Viragaha kaha.
Iha swarga bhogeshu.
Iha swarga bhogeshu.
Ichcharahityam.
Ichcharahityam.
Okay. You can mute your mic. So viraga kaha. What is dispassion? Viraga means dispassion. So this is the second in the list of sadhana chatushtayam. Whether you call viraga or vairagya, both are synonyms. Raga means passion, a longing. When you add a suffix v to it, it gives the opposite meaning. Smriti means memory. Vismriti, forgetfulness. Dega is body. Videga, absence of body. That is why you say Videka Mukti and all. So Raga means passion, Viraga, absence of passion, dispassion. Okay, what is called dispassion? See, these are all technical words. You cannot get an idea of this by saying the meaning of these words in the dictionary. So that is why it is defined here. The author defines. Iha Swarga Bhogeshu Icha Ragityam. Absence of longing for the pleasures obtaining in this world as well as in the Swarga. While listing this qualification, if you remember, Sadhana Chatushtayam Kim, for that question, he listed all the qualifications. There itself, author gave a definition. He said, Igamutra Palaboga Viragaha. Here, this Amutra is replaced by Swarga. That is the only change. Here, Viraga, here Amutra is replaced by Swarga, and Viraga is explained as Icha Ragityam. That is the only addition. Icha Ragityam Viragaha. Okay. Iha Swarga. Iha Swarga is there. Iha means in this world. In this world means you can, whatever you accomplish in the world also you can take. Iha. Power, money, pleasure, status, name, fame, everything. Iha. Swarga. Swarga means what? Swarga, you can take it at a physical location. It need not be a physical location also. It can refer to, physical location means not above the world. It can refer to some fields of experiences. Like say, suppose you are going to New York, America, right, which is bigger than the experience than what you get in India. Bigger in terms of the quantity and the quality, right? Life is very comfortable, wonderful. People aspire to go to US. So that is a Swarga for the people, some people. So Swarga could be the another loka. Swarga can refer to a field of experience. Experience, the pleasurable experience. So Iga and Swarga. We can always extend the meaning of it and try to understand. So what is Bhogeshu? Bhogeshu. Bhogeshu, it is the seventh case. Bhogaha, Bhogeshu. It's a special type of Saptami Vibhakti. It is Vishaya Saptami. Says, with reference to the enjoyments, it means with reference to the enjoyments. Vishaya Saptami. Iha, enjoyments, Iha, that is here, and Swarga, hereafter. There are many forms of enjoyment, here as well as in the Swarga. Scripture talks about Swarga Bhoga. In Kathopanishad, there is a mantra. Swarge loke nabayam kinchanasti na tatratvam jaraya bhibeti ubetirtva ashanaya pipase shokatigo Swarga loke. So, Yamadharma Raja, he mentions in his efforts, to entice Nachiketa by many offerings. Nachiketa asked for Atmajnanam, and Yama want to divert him from the topic, and it tries to offer as many pleasurable things to Nachiketa, so that he will forget to ask the question about this Atmajnanam. He says, Ima Ramaha Sarata Saturyaha Na Lambaniya Manushyehi. Yama offers all these things, excellent things, most pleasurable things which you won't get in the earth. Ramba, Urvasi, all the instruments of music, vehicles, Pushpaka Vimana, objects like Airavata, and Kalpa Vriksha, everything is available in Swarga. Kalpa Vriksha, Kamadenu can give you whatever you want. You don't have hunger and thirst in Swargaloka. So you don't have to cook at all. So you can think of the highest imaginable pleasure which is available in Swargaloka. So what is the idea about a place of highest pleasure? It means you get the maximum pleasure there. It is like in one shop you can get any object of pleasure by just simply pressing a button. without any payment. Like your only thing is your use like a credit card. The credit card is punyam. With punyam credit card, you go to Swargaloka and enjoy all the pleasures. So Swarga is a field of higher pleasure. There is such a beautiful description about it, those enjoyments in the scriptures, and people want it. Some people, they really feel they can't make it here. Physical body is not good enough. So there are a lot of problems to enjoy the pleasures here. So they want to go to heaven. In heaven, they will have a good body, a good environment to enjoy it. And enjoyment is also guaranteed because there is no competition. Swarga can accommodate any number of persons and it assures enjoyment. So some people are busy working for going to heaven. Even in the Shastra, it talks about that, and there are some yajna is there. They perform to go to Swarga. What should you do to go to Swarga? Swarga, you have to do karma here. The ticket to go to Swarga is available only in the world. You have to reserve here. So you have to reserve the ticket here and go to Swargaloka. When will you go to Swargaloka? After death. And who will take you there? After death, you cannot go with this body. This body anyway, it's useless. So, and this body has got a lot of other problems also. So you require a special body. You will get it. Which is, you get it by getting a ticket here. The ticket in the form of gaining punya. So this, most of the religions are heaven bound. There's they say that you enjoy all the pleasures. You will have eternal pleasures in Swarga. But our study of Vedanta, our religion is not like that. We know even the Swarga, if it offers the highest pleasure, we know that is anitya. Because it's nothing, yata iha tata amutra. As it is here, so it will be there. Here, the sukham, what I enjoy is going to end. There also Swarga is a place where I go, there is a movement is there from here to there. Maybe my body is different, but it is also going to be anitya. Shastra encourages that. If you want to go, there are rituals available, do it and go and enjoy. But Viveki will not opt for that. And a person who has viraga will not choose that. With reference to enjoyments, whether here or hereafter, what? Icha ragityam. Icha means longing. Ragitya means absence. Absence of longing for the bhoga with reference to the enjoyable experiences either here or there. That is viraga. That is a qualification. Important qualification. It is not that the experiences will make you happy or so. It is not the point. It is only anitya nishchayaha. Again, even in Swargaloka, there will be a taratamyam will be there. One fellow will have a better equipment, better upadhi, better possessions, right? So, anywhere you go, there will be problems. There will be a similar problem like here. When this is properly understood, so naturally what happens? You develop Icha Ragitya. A discerning person, he wants neither enjoyments here nor enjoyments there because the problems are similar. So turning away from the bhoga, from the enjoyment, seeing the limitations is called viraga, dispassion. That state of mind of a discerning person is Icha Ragityam. Icha Ragityam. If you want to clearly see the state of mind, let me try to give you an example. You have a lot of things in your room and you want to clean up everything. All the old containers, boxes, newspaper, and old obsolete electronic gadgets which are of no use to you, you throw them out. So when you throw them out, you step back and see them. What will you feel? Do you have any sense of ownership over that? Once it was yours, now it is not yours. You have thrown it away. And somebody may come and pick it up. And you don't have raga for it anymore. Right? So, because you have given up those things, does it mean that you feel empty now? No. You have grown out of it. You have no value for it now. You discovered that these things have no value. So that is the status of a mind of a dispassionate person. So the Vairagyam is a natural consequence of Viveka. Viveka is there. When Viveka is there, Vairagyam naturally it happens. Suppose if you show a 10 rupee note and a 100 rupee note to a child, the child doesn't know what it is. It cannot differentiate the two. It may just pick up any one of them. But if you show the same rupees after a few years, now the child knows the value. It will choose 100 rupee note. So nobody is interested in things that one doesn't see any value. A choice is always dependent on discrimination, for which one must know. So through karma, I get chitta prasada. Through karma, I get chitta prasada, calmness of the mind, and see that all the bhogas, all the experiences, whether in this world or in that world, it is temporary. It is a fleeting experiences. It will give only a temporary sukham. And I am interested in nitya sukham. And also I have the apatata jnanam. Apatata jnanam is a jnanam which I get through hearing from Shastra, from some senior people, which says there is a nitya vastu known as Brahman. And the knowledge of Brahman will knock off the wanting eye, the dissatisfied eye, the unhappy eye, the insecure eye. Then I have no choice in seeking Brahma Vidya without any need for command from Shastra. Then that you turn away from the Nitya Vastu, you are turning away from the Nitya Vastu becomes natural. If I am seeking Igasvarga Bhoga, understand it is only due to Aviveka. There is no Viveka. So lack of discrimination is a cause for lack of Vairagyam. Once Viveka comes, you need not ask for Vairagyam. Vairagyam is a natural consequence. That Vairagyam towards an undesirable thing is based on the knowledge that it is undesirable. So Vairagyam is natural towards them once I am clear that they cannot give what I am really seeking. They are undesirable. So now you see the dosha in them, limitations of the arthakama, and you understand that being the cause for problems. So they are undesirable, and you know where nitya sukham is available. So Vairagyam naturally, automatically it rises. Understand that Vairagyam is not hatred. Vairagyam is not physically giving up something. Vairagyam is not even dismissing money as having no value. No. Vairagyam is not dismissing the house or the property as having no value. No, it is not like that. They have this money or they have the buying power. It is fine to use them for what they are meant. But I don't look for total fulfillment in these pleasures. So Vairagyam is not disenchantment with these things and beings. Sometimes people develop Vairagya because of some undesirable things happen in their life. That is not real Vairagya. That is because once the impact of the unpleasant experiences are over, again the person will come back to life, the same grabbing mind. They call this as Smashana Vairagyam. Vairagyam is there. That Vairagyam will be there until one comes from the cremation ground. Once he comes back from the cremation ground, that person will become a normal person. One may get a Vairagya because he could not accomplish it. That is also not Vairagya. They are all temporary because they are not backed up by Viveka. So the means of Vairagya is Viveka. And the means of Viveka is Karma Yoga. If Vairagya is a natural consequence of Viveka, then Viveka alone need to be mentioned, not Vairagya. Then why do they separately mention Viveka and Vairagya? That we will see in detail in the next. We have to discuss a lot about it, so that time is not sufficient now. So we will do it in the next class. We'll stop here. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.